We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Change the name of the high school and all James Woods can say is ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy. When a ball turned into a vampire, all James Woods could say was ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy. They sat around the house and said, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy. And you know that James Woods practices lingerie well, but everything that he reads becomes real hard to spell. Everyone tries to help him, but the words just won't come out. There's only one thing he can think of, and it's what comes out his mouth. Candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy. When he comes out of his house, the women scream and shout, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy. And they know that he's not good, the best of them all when he says, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy. Reese's Pieces on the floor and watch him come a saying, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy. And you know that James Woods practices lingerie well, but everything that he reads becomes real hard to spell. Everyone tries to help him, but the words just won't come out. There's only one thing he can think of, and it's what comes out his mouth. Ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy. When he comes out of his house, the women scream and shout, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy, ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy.
see things you people wouldn't believe.
So, a creature for my amusement. Prepare for battle.
Fucking thing sucks!
There we go. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. What is going on, fam? Your host, Uncle Warren. And I got my tinfoil hat on, ready for tonight. We're going to introduce the boys here in just a second. First, let me shout out the... stop cursing! So we're gonna fucking loud ass motherfuckers, I swear to God. We try to do a regular show. This ain't that little rascal shit where we're charging onions and buttons at the door, okay? We got Yona here. Kelly is here. Hello. We got Signs, Mystery. Thank you for showing up, y'all. Also, we got Jimmy. She's here. Dingo. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate all of y'all. And what? There's people on the rock fin. What? So yeah, let me put this in the chat because the stuff we're going to be talking about tonight, there's a pretty good chance things are going to go tits up here on the old on the old thingy here. So yeah. So anyway, I want to say hi to everybody. Hang on a second. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time, apparently. Hopefully that's it. So yeah, tonight is a very special night. I'm gonna take this off because this hurts. That's why people who wear tinfoil hats are crazy, because that shit carves into your scalp and it hurts like fuck.
Is that what's wrong with me?
I think that's what's wrong with you. Who are those magic voices here? It's these guys. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. Hope you're doing well. We got Marcus from Political Matrix. Chris is going to be joining us probably in about 20 minutes or so. And we got the man, the myth, the legend, Steve Poiganen. Slow News Day and Anarchy in the Morning. I love that show, brother. That show is so awesome. You and Pasta are just killing it over there. 7 to 10 p.m. Pacific time. Is that right?
That is correct. It's
Excellent.
It's
Excellent.
early for us. We give you slackers on the East Coast time to wake up. Everybody over here in California and out in the desert and up in the Pacific Northwest got to be up early grinding.
That's right, man.
Lazy, mellow, ornery sons of bitches there in Manhattan.
Yeah, ornery. Yeah, they sure are. They're assholes. I guess you could say they're ornery too, if you want to put it that way. So usually, like, we do the old Marvel origin story, but these guys have been on before. Marcus is a returning champion, and Steve, this is your third time here because you were here for the Festivus show. You came for the Year Ender, and now you're here for the Rabbit Hole show. I knew I had to get at least you two guys on this show because you're my top-notch guys when it comes to that deep, dark information about things people only know surface level shit about, yours truly included. So I like to get my education on as well. So welcome. I appreciate y'all being here. How you doing, Marcus?
I'm doing good. I like to say, it's kind of like what Bane told Batman. He told him, he's like, yeah, how he only kind of he's got accustomed to the dark and we live in it. That's me and Steve. We
Oh,
live in these
you're merely
stories.
accustomed to the dark. I was born into that bullshit. I fucked up some bitches too. I used to go down to Vegas where Steve is and get those honeys at the Bunny Ranch. Oh, okay, he never said that shit. Sorry.
But he thought it. But he thought it.
It was it's just my shitty, shitty excuse to do a Bane impression. So, yeah, I know, right? I tell you, I think the tin foil was a bit too tight. So we'll just set that aside. So, gentlemen, we are gathered here today to celebrate this thing called life, and sometimes life is a little bit nutty. When you don't know all the details. So, I don't know quite how deep these holes are going to go. I know, Marcus, you said you want to start off with a little, like, kind of like a little appetizer so that we don't get too overwhelmed. So I'll let you lead off tonight.
Yeah, I figured like because I've been just watching a lot of commentary. As you guys know, it's getting closer to midterms, and just hearing, some of the commentary. And don't get me wrong, I have love for everybody out there, but with all due respect to some of them, it's like I hear you guys when you guys talk about Carlin, and you guys love to cite Carlin. It's a big old club, and you ain't in it, but I don't think it really sinks in what the hell Carlin was saying to you guys by the actions and the directions some of you guys still want to take. For instance, like I'll hear people say, well, we know that the elites are controlling this and this and this. Well, if you guys know that there's billions of trillions of dollars that they have, and they've been doing this for thousands of years, and they've already bought off the state houses, the lawyers, the cops, the this, the that. I don't know what the hell you guys think somebody who runs as an independent libertarian, blah, 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 is going to fucking do with that system. All they got to do is say, you know what? We're going to pay to make sure, like they did in New York, to keep certain people off the ballot. Also, you have no actual control of knowing how the ballots are being even counted. So another thing is you need a lot of money for campaigns to exist in the first damn place. So the system it's not about like the system is corrupted. The system is corruption. And that's what I don't think a lot of people get. They think they can flip a corrupted system. That is the modus operandi.
Okay.
I mean, I hate to spoil it for people and pissing people's Cheerios, but it is what it is.
You have a machine, and that machine was built, designed to kill you, and to kill 99.9% of the people on the planet, but only after it squeezed every last drop of not just your blood, sweat, and tears, but your essence and your soul. If you knew that, your solution to that machine would not be, got it, I know, fuck, we're going to slap new parts on it every 2-4 years, forever. All you're doing is prolonging the life of a machine designed to kill you. And there's an entire apparatus that exists to make you think that if you just toe the line enough, you could be part of that 0.1% someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve says it perfectly correct. I mean, I'd say, let's do this thought exercise. Let's say your third party person who you believe can do XYZ gets in. Who still controls the House? And let's speak concurrently. Okay, who's currently has the offices? Right now, it's still Pelosi. So that means any bill that needs to go up still has to go through Pelosi, correct? That means any bill that would need to be signed would still have to get passed through the House, through the Senate, and then go over to President Joe Biden for signature. I mean, are we not thinking about what's going on here? And then if you guys think, well, we could just get rid of Joe Biden. If you think presidents are running anything, look back to what Abraham Lincoln said. One of Abraham Lincoln's famous quotes, he said, I have two great enemies, the Confederate Army to my south and the bankers to my back at the north. Which, if a lot of people don't realize this, the banks literally funded the North and the South during the Civil War.
Another thing that Abraham Lincoln said is, oh, Jesus, Mary, really? I need to go to a play tonight like I need a hole in the head.
I was gonna say the last thing he said was fuck. God damn, what the? And then yeah. So
and then another thing. Look at pictures of John Wilkes Booth. What do you see his hand doing? The hidden hand, which Abraham Lincoln wasn't a part of the hidden hand. And when you go back further enough, some of the presidents weren't. They didn't have it to that level of control. But what they did have is parts and pieces around them. And so what has just happened in this system is each election cycle over the past 150 years or so, they've got a little more control, a little more control. It's kind of like a python, you know, it's just encircling you, encircling you, encircling you. And somehow a lot of people believe, well, even though that they have captured the businesses and they've captured, you know, all the politicians and they've captured the media and they've captured the music industry and they've captured this, we still can defeat them somehow. And even if, let's say we were all united on the same front, pushing for the same thing, that would still be a huge hill to climb.
mm-hmm.
But the fact of all you got to do is say, you know what? For instance, well, Steve is against legalizing marijuana, which that's funny. But let's say that was the issue. He's against it. Then you're going to have one coalition of leftists say, well, we don't want Steve in our group. And then you're going to have another one who says, well, I want to focus on immigration rights. Then you have another group of people who say, well, I don't think that's the priority. We need to focus on equality amongst, you know, the sexes and gender pronouns and all that. And when you keep breaking everybody into a gazillion different pieces and everybody only focuses on their first and foremost, where they got you by the balls.
But part of my gender fluidity includes sometimes that's why I don't have any clever background. I was doing a radio thing. I got done. I walked the dog. I jumped on. No clever. It'll happen someday. We'll get there. It's the first day that I've even done a show from my house in like the spare room. We just got camera and crap set up. It's all yeah. We'll get it figured out, guys. I promise.
But at least with the green background, it reminds me, Green Party. Green Party is one of the biggest sheep herding parties that there is, even though people are like, oh, well, let's maybe we can go greens. Okay, red and blue is done. Let's go green.
Well, look,
that doesn't work. Liberty shot. DSA is shot. People Party, that's shot. I mean, I get it. It's hard to face that reality. Now, you can go ballot initiatives. You can do some other little things around the edges, but trying to start some kind of party to go into this system, that's already a conspiracy that you think you can win that way.
That's fair. That's fair. It is. If you know, voting is the laziest and least effective direct political action you could ever possibly take. Ever. Yeah, but you get a sticker.
You do get a sticker.
You get donuts. Some places you get donuts.
Every adult wants instead of a representative republic. It's a nice little sticker that proves that you're a fucking child. Think that if you go into the electric machine and you push the buttons, that it's going to do for you what you want it to do. And here's your sticker, Johnny. There you go.
That's probably why they think if they fire up the machine, that's where the stickers and the donuts come from. You know I like waiting 7 to 8 hours in line just for some sort of sticker that makes me look like a douchebag. You know, because there's not enough things in my life that already prove that I actually need the sticker for it. So, because some people are really dense.
Don't you
Steve,
love the people who keep the sticker on like a jacket, and like 6 months later they still wear that jacket with the sticker on it?
I have. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Look, Steve, I
Seen
was
it
going to
in
say,
bios.
don't
all
worry
kinds
about
of
the green
shit.
background. We're gonna
Oh,
stick a nice picture behind you in post. I can't say what now, but I think you'll like it. It'll be good taste. Well, at least your
No.
kind of taste.
No,
It'll be your
no.
kind of taste. I don't know if that's necessarily good taste, but you'll like it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm lazy. We're not doing shit in post. So, but it is a nice color green. I'm always honest, man. I'm gonna tell you.
I'll tell you what. If you guys want to ramble for a couple of minutes, I'll hop out of StreamYard. I'll do the OBS thing. I'll come back in with the back.
No, we like all natural, Steve.
If it was after post for me, I would like have like the Teletubbies and like Barney having a knife fight in the background of your post. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I was just
gonna
stick a scene.
Huh? You like that, huh?
I was gonna stick a scene from Scarface behind you, but that's too much work. And you know,
I shopped Zelensky's face onto Al Pacino's for a thumbnail the other day from Scarface, where he's sitting at the desk with the mountain of blow. Yes. Because it's accurate.
That was so good.
That little midget is a coke fiend.
Wait till you see the one I'm working on. I'm working on one right now. I don't want to spoil it because somebody will probably steal it from me and do it before me, but I'm working on one that's pretty entertaining, involving Zelensky, Biden, and Putin. I'll just leave it at that.
And that Zelensky thing, that's not a conspiracy. That motherfucker admitted it. He's like, I love the coca. Nose boogers for me. Ukraine, Ukraine, we all Ukraine because I'm fucked up. Yeah, he admitted it. He likes
awesome energy, man. It's the best.
I could fight 10,000 men with just my chest. Yeah, he's
we're gonna start so many businesses. Ukraine's gonna be the economic capital of the entire northern hemisphere. Give me some more. He's asking for like $7 million. It breaks down to he's asking for like $7 million an hour in aid right now.
That's because cocaine ain't cheap. Cocaine is not cheap.
Well, I would imagine that trying to get it into Ukraine right now, if it's not coming in on a C-130, probably pretty difficult.
The C in C-130 stands for cocaine, by the way. So it's kind of like one of those Air America flights. Yeah, it is, man. It's Air America, man. He's got the Ray-Bans on. Dropping bales.
How about this for crazy, though? Everybody knows the CIA and the government, the army, were smuggling heroin and cocaine out of Vietnam and through Vietnam and out up through fucking, Central America and Mexico, and dropping giant fucking airplane loads of it onto poor neighborhoods, black neighborhoods, brown neighborhoods, all over the United States, to the point to where there's a Tom Cruise movie about it.
Mm-hmm. American made.
Yes.
And nobody from the government has been held accountable for that. Nobody in any of the intelligence agencies.
Technically, Ollie North got held accountable, and then all of a sudden,
but that not for the drugs. For the hostages and the guns in Iran. he got in trouble. He didn't even get really dragged in to the cocaine side of it. He's barely mentioned in anything that you read, from testimony from Daniel Blandone. Like, he names a lot of people. Ollie North isn't one of those people. It seems like he was kept away from the Central American side of it and was more on the Iranian side of it. But you know that he had a read-in on it. You know that he had operational awareness.
Here, I'll tell you this. I was not spec warfare at all. But how did I know some of the inner workings of what happened as far as Bora Bora?
Because you were Navy and y'all are some gossipy bitches.
Wait, hang on, hang on just a second there. Yeah, so wow. Okay,
hey,
come on, guys.
Hey, a Navy SEAL told me. So, hey.
Steve's trying to start a ruckus. What happened? No, yeah, so okay. So Ollie North was all up in a whole bunch of shit, wasn't he? Not just the Iran Contra. He was doing all kinds of bullshit, right? I mean, what else has he done besides the drugs, the weapons, and all that? What do you know anything else that he's done? Either one of you guys?
Drugs and weapons. He also had a role in with the Mahuj. Can't say it. I can't talk right now.
The Mujahideen.
Yes. He also had a hand in training and working closely with those individuals.
Yeah, he also did a campaign in Honduras or Guatemala.
I believe it was Guatemala because at the time Guatemala was one of the biggest places for manufacturing cocaine.
Yeah, but that was the late 70s. He was part of a couple of some of the more egregious war crimes in Vietnam. Ollie North had a storied history of service to the empire. To the point to where they were going to try him for treason, and then he got to be the president of the NRA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Had like one of the most popular radio shows and podcasts in the world.
And he did it knowing full well exactly what he was doing. Now, granted, I know a lot of guys who they really think we're over there, we're fighting for America's freedom and we're protecting America, and they really have this they really think they're being a patriot and really going over to deliver freedom. And it's some of them are that delusional. This guy had none of those delusions. I mean, and I know how some can get it. You can get compartmentalized and only see certain factions of certain things when you're in the military. But not everybody's compartmentalized. There's a lot of people who know what the hell they're doing. And Ollie North is one of those people who knew every crooked, dirty ass thing that he was doing. And you see in those porn movies, those guys who justify doing really fucked up shit because they believe it's for this greater good. He's one of those types, an ideologue for the empire.
Yeah.
Hooray.
We don't,
and we have more like it. David Petraeus, that's another one.
Yeah.
Or I call him David Betray Us. But
That's
he's
clever.
another one. I mean, there's so
well, and he's another one that got away with it.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to hang him for treason too, because he was telling company secrets to a fucking reporter and spy, or just reporter.
No,
wasn't there a spy involved in that too? That's what I thought. And that he was cheating on his wife with.
Yes,
and I think he was even cheating on his mistress with the reporter chick. And fellas, it actually goes worse for you historically. You really can't point to a W on this, where if the mistress catches the dude with yet another mistress, or even worse, cheating on the mistress with the wife, then all hell breaks loose. It unleashes a shitnado
Yeah.
of terror and destruction for whatever dude is dumb enough to get caught up in that situation. And that's what David Petraeus did. And this was supposed to be one of the smart guys.
Mhm.
Turns out he was just one of the I know how to navigate the bureaucracy and climb the ladder guys.
Yeah.
Devious and clever doesn't necessarily mean smart,
Yes.
but it will get you an ego. And if you're already kind of a narcissist to begin with, you may think you could get away with cheating on your mistress out in the open with a reporter.
Mm-mm.
I mean, isn't that the same thing John Edwards did? Dumbass. I mean,
God, that guy was a slime ball.
yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's what, like, I'm one of those people. I like to declare if I did something right, if I did something wrong, I take all the credit. John Edwards, I originally was pushing and backing John Edwards before supporting Obama. That's back when I was still kind of a little lost. That's the reason why when I see some of the stuff which some people hold on to and vigorously fight for and believe, I'm like, don't judge them too harshly. Just kind of, let them work through that process, because I mean, I wasn't a shit lid, vote blue no matter who, but I mean, that's unexcusable. But I was one of those people like, hopefully this guy can do maybe one good thing, just one good thing. And I know he's going to be crooked. I know he's going to be crooked. Just do one good thing. And then I had to come to the realization, they can't even do one good thing.
Put Dingo's comment up on screen there, Warren.
I don't know if you guys can see it, but must know how to navigate. I'm assuming that's pussy. If he had a wife and 2 mistresses.
Well, now that there's a point to be made that as navigationally adept as he may have been, pussy floats towards power.
Always.
And he was General David Petraeus before he was in charge of the CIA, before he was in charge of any of that other shit. And he's well traveled. You could throw that on top of it too. If you're in a lot of places and you're that dude, yeah. I mean, Harvey Weinstein didn't have to go get rapey. He just wanted to.
Yeah, it's not like he lost a bet or anything,
That goes back to the old casting couch. That's just like,
That's
like,
just Hollywood, darling.
that's how we do it all the way.
Okay, I got a pot for you. You come here. You ain't.
We gotta get this casting couch nasty. Chris, your mic's muted there. I see you wore the power polo just for me. Thank you. We didn't have any.
You can see his horse galloping.
What's going on, guys?
You can see his horse galloping on the shirt.
We didn't have any fashion requirements tonight or background requirements. Yeah, definitely smoke them or drink them if you got them, fellas. Because
I was just gonna come on here like this, like I'm too cool for school. But the lights, the lights fuck it all up.
Did you steal those glasses from Joe Biden?
No, man, that's part of his Proud Boy uniform.
Oh,
need that ice cream code too.
Exactly. I already know.
Yeah, where's your tiki torch? All right, before we get
I have to wear my MAGA hat.
We got Alyssa, we got people watching on Rockfin on Indie Left News, his channel. I appreciate him putting this on Rockfin, and I figured we should, just in case, we probably should have this on Rockfin. eventually, if I ever get my own Rockfin account, this is all just going to be straight up on Rockfin, and YouTube can suck the big old buck. So let me just shout out who's on Rockfin right now. We got Reef, he's there. Universal Earthling, Teresa, how you doing? Yono's over there. Indy left, of course. We're in deep. Yeah, no shit. Oh, and that's the person too. And Shadow Band's over there. He tipped $2. Orale bitches. I think that's 11 people watching. That's pretty cool. So you guys are a great draw. I appreciate you. All right. So now that the family, now that the family's together, let's get into the nitty gritty, the real deep dank holes. We're not talking about women. We're talking about conspiracy. Look, Marcus with the prune face. Ah, he didn't once expected that. Sorry, kid. No, listen, you know how we roll on this show. This is not.
In my Navy days, I used to be a lot wilder, and I still got that, little blush effect to myself. Little shyness comes out occasionally.
This ain't Teletubbies. I'm just telling you that right now. So, anyway, Chris, you're
what
tardy
you doing
ass.
to those Teletubbies?
What? What?
Yeah,
No,
I just came from the gym. The little one had basketball practice, so
oh,
just
nice.
making it back.
Look at you being a good dad, man. You know,
sometimes, probably once a year.
I'm a good dad. I'm a good dad when the kid eventually tracks me down. But I got to start finding new hiding places because that kid's pretty smart. He gets that from his mom, not me. So anyway,
you sounded like Uncle Baby Billy right now.
Uncle Baby Billy. That's why I don't check the mailbox on Father's Day. I don't want to see no card. I don't want to see none of that bullshit. I leave it up to the pros. So all right, here we are. Let's get down to it.
You even made Steve laugh with that one. He cracked a smile with that one.
Steve knows. No, Steve's a good dad too. But he may had a iron in the fire here and there back in the day, and you never know what may have came from that. So hey, brother, I'm right there with you. I stuck myself in places I probably had no business myself, and like I say, I don't check the mailbox on Father's Day. So
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about or how it would relate to my life, sir. But I mean, go with God. Go with God.
I never know what the hell I'm talking about. That's the whole point for me to be here, is just to be. If you don't have confusion in your life, I have good rates and I'll help you out. So, all right. You missed my tinfoil hat, Chris, because you were being a good dad. That's all right. That shit hurt too. Fuck that. All right. So since you're here, we're gonna start with you.
Well,
all right.
Hold up. If it hurt, it was self-inflicted. You had the opportunity to create a tinfoil hat that would not hurt you in any way, and you chose. So, and look, I don't kink shame. I don't. But I don't know if you get the right to complain if you intentionally fashioned a tinfoil hat that was too tight and gave you a little pain. Yeah. You like
he's used to making them as Jimmy hats. That's why.
The pain is good. Yeah.
He's used to making them as Jimmy hats.
Okay, so I made the hat. And I said, okay, I'm gonna do this bit for like a few minutes. I'm taking this fucking thing off because I wasn't gonna wear it the whole night anyway. But yeah, it did pinch a little bit, and I thought, oh, what's this?
Give you a little pucker. Yeah.
I got giddy like a schoolgirl, and then I said, no, okay, now the shit's starting to hurt. Fuck off. So I'm just. I'm a bad boy for like 30 seconds, and then after that I'm just like safety word. Oh shit, I forgot the safety word. Damn it.
Pineapples.
Usually my safety word is, huh? So, anyway, I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm glad you guys didn't wear tinfoil hats. This was just for the kids anyway, so, you know, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. Chris, I'm glad you're here, you and your shirt. I do want to say, I appreciate all you gentlemen being here, and tonight, I want to get, like, your favorites. I mean, you don't I mean, I'm sure you have multiples, and it's like, it's hard to pick. So if you pick something, I'm not going to say, oh, that's your favorite. It's as long as you like it, I like it. So Chris, I want you to start things off for us here.
Hold on, wait 1 second before Chris says anything. I'm trying to see if I got a pen. I'm trying to. I already know what Chris is going to be. I know what it's going to be. Hold on. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the private chat. I'm going to type it in, and the moment he says it, then I'll send it to you guys so I can confirm that I'm correct.
This ain't Match Game 78, Marcus. I don't know what the hell kind of games you're playing here.
All right, go on ahead. Watch.
I am not right. Gene Rayburn. All right, but this is one of those places we could to Ed.
You know, it's funny. When I was driving here, I was thinking like, what I want to talk about, and then now I'm sitting here, and there's one thing that comes to mind. But I know if we talk about it, this whole episode will get shut down, right? And it's probably not what Marcus is thinking. Not this time, Marcus. You'd probably be right 99% of the time. But it has to do with something that happened in November of 2020. We know. Again, you have to be careful how you talk about this, because I've seen multiple people lose their channels and get their episodes pulled down. But all those mail-in ballots were not sent in by people, by individuals, shall we say. And the person and the people who are occupying 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, is that the correct address? I don't know. But the people who are, even Steve's dog agreed with me. He was like, yeah, word. That's why he was barking. But, the person who occupies the Oval Office isn't the person who should be occupying the Oval Office. And I say that that doesn't mean that the other person would have been any better for us. It would definitely have been more entertaining, but not necessarily better. So I just, I would go there. But Marcus, that was like the second one.
Did you see? I put it in the private chat.
Yeah. I just saw it. That was the next thing. That September day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that September day, taking a flight, seeing the sights. What's that? Oh, it must be NYC. Let's take a closer look. That's what got me into it. That's what got me into
the box cutter.
This passport is not like the other ones, not like the other ones, not like the other ones.
It's fully intact after having been blown up in a plane.
Hey, we were talking about this on Franco's show.
They did the same thing.
See, I thought it was September, but we're gone until November.
Hey, they did the same thing in Ukraine, right? Where they're like, oh, we just happened to find fully intact all of these things that will directly point to Russia for this particular attack that we are now going to use to justify to send more weapons to Ukraine, to send
and more money.
Yeah. Send a bunch of troops to train Ukrainian troops in a third country, so that technically we're not putting U.S. boots on the ground to train Ukrainians.
Well, it'll
just be a joint training exercise.
Are we all forgetting that we just sent America's secret weapon? We sent our own, like, Black Rambo over there, Malcolm Nance.
Nance.
He's gonna stop everything.
Black Rambo.
Okay. Marcus, you were Navy. Warren, can you pull up a picture of Malcolm Nance, please? In his get up, in his LARP uniform.
Mhm.
But, Malcolm Nance was a chief petty officer.
Mhm.
He was naval intelligence.
Correct.
He was an instructor at Syria. He was not an army infantry soldier in a full field kit with the safety on and the bolt all the way down and an unseated magazine in his little costume there.
Right? Yeah,
He actually looks like what Peter Griffin posed like when Peter Griffin said, "The only thing I know about black guys is they don't smile in pictures." If you put up a picture of Peter Griffin right now, you'll be like, "Ah, damn it."
This guy.
Look, and did you guys see his second video when he was out there with the compass and he was smelling the air to see which way the missile was coming from?
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
he was talking. I can't remember who he was talking to, but he was
What
like,
is it with the corporate press and they think they need to smell things in order to convey the message to the American public?
Wow.
Marcus, when you see the video, you're gonna laugh because the dude is out. He was in the parking lot. I don't know where he was, but he's out there and he hears something, and he's outside. Like, do you hear? It's a missile. And he looks at his watch and he tilts it, and he's like, "We're facing east. Missiles coming from west." I mean, it's like the dumbest shit ever. And again, I look at it. I think it's comedy. I laugh. The sad part is that there's people who are actually watching that who believe it.
Hang on a second, I'm gonna pull that up.
And all my weapons and explosive training and dealing with missiles and stuff like that, I've never been taught to smell them. That's new. Maybe the fuel, if one leaks, like a torpedo, auto fuel smells kind of like burnt almonds. But never been told to sniff for a smell. Normally, and if you were smelling a missile coming, probably already too late.
Well, if the mainstream media has taught us anything, it's like if you go overseas as a reporter, you got to start sniffing shit, right? Backpacks, the air, that kind of thing. So here's him talking about sniffing shit. Hopefully, we can hear this okay.
The Russians now have to understand Ukraine's unique territory.
Sorry, the video's a little jerky, but you can hear it though.
Not going down? No. But I've never seen a fast mover. Are we in an air raid?
Yeah, we are. We had the air raid. There's another coming.
Wait, there'll be 3. Stand by. Wait for one more. They're fired in 30-second intervals. They fire them in 30-second intervals. Smoke.
There we go.
Stand by. 3, cruise missile, caliber.
Look.
Stand by. Stand by. 4.
It's a bird,
4.
dude.
I see him. There he is. There he is. There he is. Let's go.
Let's go there. Let's go there.
So I know what you was talking about because there was like a meme around it, like saying, yeah, it smells like it's some dude and his wife left him and all that shit. That shit was so funny.
Wow.
Person fired at barbecue sauce last night.
If you watch the video again, right? If you watch the video again, in the back, pay attention to the background of the video. People are walking around like it's nothing. Cars are still moving, driving, going about their day. He's, him and the other pendejo, they running around there like, as if, the missile's about to drop on their foreheads. I mean, it would have been kind of funny if it happened to them alone, but, it's just typical CNN bullshit. Oh, y'all see CNN Plus got shut down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna say it again. Gonna say it again. You can't do what we do because what we do is real, and the entire concept of television is to create a fake reality and to present a fake reality where you bring in people who look like they're supposed to be telling you the news, and they have agents, and they go, and they're reading lines.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you're going to do that in podcast form, and people are going to listen
And
You're
pay
gonna do
for it?
that and pay you for it.
Monthly.
And pay you for it.
And I wouldn't even like BitTorrent that shit. I want nothing to do with that garbage. And apparently a lot of other people didn't either. So because they said CNN said, well, things are going great, but Discovery said, I think Discovery is part of it too, and they said, no, not really. We're gonna have to let this go.
Brian, what's his name? Brian Stelter or what? Stelter? I don't know. Yeah, whatever his name is.
They made him do the tweet.
Yeah, they made him do it. So I clicked it just for shits and giggles, right? It's hard to look away from car accidents sometimes, right? So I actually clicked on the article and I was reading through it. Of course, first things first was like, oh, this is the fault of Discovery. They chose to end it. No, bitch, nobody was watching. Nobody was paying. Let's stop pretending as if this was some popular shit that Discovery ended. Nobody wanted to hear your shit other than, the only people who had subscriptions are probably people who worked at CNN.
Shareholders, the Democratic Party. That's about it.
And there were gifts. They didn't buy the shit, because nobody's buying that shit. It can't be, right? Come on. This shit was garbage.
I would hope not. Not in the year of our Lord in 2022. I hope not.
Well, another thing that they don't think about either is what we do. It's real, it's authentic, and on top of it, even the ones who are making decent money from it. I'm talking about the ones who I feel like have completely sold out, and they're probably making millions off of it. Even them are cheap compared to you guys, and so we're either free to very, very, very cheap or affordable to. Anyway, like the money dynamic of even the most highest paid content creator is nothing compared to how much money is put into this CNN project. You can't compete basically with the market.
Right. Yeah.
And again, man, you can fake authenticity. You can fake it, but you can't you can't fake it when the only way you know how to do things is to present a manufactured, alternate, prepackaged, sponsor-approved version of reality. You can't. If you're Kyle Kalinske, you can fake it for a long time before it starts to fall apart. The Young Turks kind of faked authenticity just because their set was cheap. It looked authentic. Yeah. And for years they had a cheap set. And then they had a set that was really corny. And you thought it was authentic because it was really corny. I did like I don't know, but when it comes to like that crap, it always falls apart. You can't do it forever. I'm going to scoot over here a little bit and let my good buddy Pasta you go on the other side just so you can light this blunt. Okay, that's fair.
So you got Pasta in the house. Okay.
Thank you, buddy.
Oh, shit.
Don't hold it, roll it.
Look, I got to tell y'all.
Back a little bit.
Well, while y'all are setting up over there, I'll tell you my tale of 420 yesterday. So I've been off the stuff for about a month and a half. So my tolerance was like basement level, right? And my buddy from out of town, he's from LA, and he's here in New York to see the Fish concerts, right? You got 4 going on. So, and he's big Fish head, big stoner. And we're smoking out in his hotel room. and I think I time traveled. I haven't had Cali weed in a long time, and I smoked that shit, and I did feel like Lebowski holding the bowling ball and flying around. And I have no idea how I got home last night. So I hope your 420s, your 420 was good, gentlemen. For some people, they just called it Wednesday because, you know, every day's 420, which is fine. But yeah, I think I still might be a little stoned. So, and I'm trying to run all this shit over here too. So shit fucks up. Probably me. So anyway, all right. So, Steve, my friend, what have you brought to the table for us this evening? As far as like one of your favorite rabbit holes to go down.
Tartaria.
Ooh.
And also Khazaria. So, and the idea that what the Great Reset might be, what the Fourth Industrial Revolution might be, what the fracturing into sort of Oceania versus Eurasia. I'm sorry, I have two microphones right now.
We just hear you doubly as well.
Is just an extension of Tatarians versus Khazarians. In fact, Ukraine was once upon a time called Marcus.
Khazaria.
Okay, so Russia is thought to be the seat of the Tartarian Empire. The Tartarians were thought to be a race of giants. The model in which they powered the earth was by the buildings and by water. The earth itself, kind of a battery of sorts, or a generator, really. And the Tartarians had this knowledge. Khazarians were greedy, selfish, wanted it, drove out, slayed the Tartarians that inherited the architecture after what was thought to be the last great mud flood. And here we are. But Tartarian knowledge is thought to have been resurfaced as of late. And it's where the cute people get the whole Great Awakening throw too. It's like all kind of, but that's one of the rabbit holes that I find fascinating. And always flat Earth.
I just don't see how you can have a flat Earth. It just, I mean,
Nobody does. It's actually the whole flat Earth thing has nothing to do with the Earth actually being flat.
What's it about then? What is it then?
It's about us living in the Arctic basin. It's about water only rises to its own level. Right? It's about the Earth. So this is the theory. Not saying that I subscribe to this. I'm saying it's fun to entertain, and I have a couple of friends that know quite a bit about it. The theory is that the Earth itself is, I don't know, not flat.
It's a plane,
but rather, yeah. Well, and a firmament.
Yes, as a firmament.
Under a firmament. You know, and there may be some sort of, you know, Earth or whatever. Here's what we do know. We've only ever been able to drill 8 miles down. We've only ever been able to get like core samples 8 miles down until they ran out of the ability to do. We know that on the way down, every time they said, okay, we're out of water, we're out of rock, we're going to bust through, we're going to expose whatever the layer is before like the magma right? At the core, more water and more rock, and that they stopped at 8 miles. We know that. There's a bunch of things that Dave Weiss, Flat Earth Dave, refers to as the 3 bucket problem. Things like physics at horizon and all this kind of stuff, circumference. It works in either a globe Earth model or both a globe Earth and a flat Earth model, or just a flat Earth model. 3 bucket problem. The things that work for both, like flat Earth and flat Earth and globe Earth, or sorry, it's very fucking weird, dude. It's very weird. It's very weird. I'm not saying it should be totally dismissed. I'm not saying it changes anything either. That's always my ultimate argument with the people who want to plant their flag on any particular conspiracy or any particular rabbit hole or anything like that. Is what does public knowledge of this change that anything else along the way that you've learned? Because you didn't wake up and go, corporate news is lying to me, the earth is not a globe. Like, there was a process there. There was. What does it change? Does it change the fact that a relatively small number of people wield an outsized amount of influence over planet, or the way that we operate? Yes, okay, I guess it's like one of the big lies or biggest lies or whatever. I don't know. Gets you ready for all the other lies? I don't know. There's a lot, but it's wild as fuck. There's a guy called the Sage of K who has this 4 or 5 hour presentation on both the flat realm. He's got this real thick Welsh accent. The flat realm and Tartaria and mudfloods and shit. It's crazy. It is. You should take a look. It's fun. It is. It's good to sit down with the family, some popcorn, deep dive.
Gather around the conspiracy theory, kids. Well, you mentioned the three bucket problem. What's that? What's the 3 bucket problem?
So there's a thing like it's hard. It's hard for me to explain. It's easy for the dude who makes his living telling people about this shit to explain it. Dave Weiss, Flat Earth Dave, whatever. It's very, very easy to find as long as you're not trying to find it on YouTube. I'll link you the show that we did with them, Warren. It's funny. It's a good time. Right on. Yeah. Okay, we had him on last year, I think.
Yeah, I understand the concept of what some of these people are talking about with the flat Earth business, and if there was a guy that hadn't sent a GoPro camera up with a whole bunch of balloons and actually showed that the Earth was round, this wasn't like some government dude. This was just a regular dude with a GoPro that had GPS on it.
But explain that.
Well, the dude with the GoPro. Yeah, it was just because
I've seen a whole bunch of people from flat Earth community dismiss that. There's a huge flat Earth community on Rockfin in the open mind category.
I can imagine. Well, this guy, he had some sort of weather balloon, high altitude weather balloon, and he just I don't know if he had it how he had it affixed to the balloon, right?
And from a circular lens at a certain altitude, looking down through light, it showed what appeared to be curvature at. Okay.
Yeah. Well, at least I guess it didn't go high enough to see the whole Earth, right? So if you could do that, you could see the ice ring around the flat plane, right? So if that was a real thing, right? But so anyway, they were saying, yeah, there were, I think, I saw it on YouTube, and there was people in the comments saying, oh, well, it had a fisheye lens on it, so that's why there was a curvature and all this stuff. And I couldn't, it didn't seem like that much of a fisheye lens curve to it, but you know,
I don't know. I know every airplane window is curved.
Yeah.
Sure, that's
okay.
for safety purposes, though.
Well, if we're going to talk about flat Earth, let's talk about this is a fun one. The kids like to banter around.
Well, pull up one of Dave's videos.
Dave Weiss, you said?
Yeah, WEISS. Or Flat Earth Dave, something like that.
I will try that. Let's see. See if he's got something.
Hey everyone, this is going to be a pretty different video from what I know.
Hey, let me get this up here. Well, while we're waiting on this, did we go to the moon or not?
Are we asking around the panel or
right?
No, I'm just asking myself. Yeah,
I don't
anybody wants
so.
to jump in?
I don't believe so. Just because of time that I've spent living literally right next to flight lines, especially like in the military and the barracks. Some things which they show on some of the rovers, and like, you're trying to tell me that thing, those blasters, those tiny little skinny blasters, really have propulsion capability? And if it landed in that area, why is there no scorching of the earth up underneath it? Also, you're telling me that aluminum, that cheap ass gold foil, aluminum foil basically, made it all the way to the moon, going that damn fast, and then lands with no dust on it? It's a lot of things that just don't, for me, make sense.
None of that makes sense whenever you start looking at it.
Right. Let's come back to that in a second. This is Flat Earth Dave. I'm not quite sure which video this is, but we'll just run a few minutes of it.
Hey everyone, this is going to be a pretty different video from what I normally post. If you're from the Flat Earth realm, you know what this is about. If you're one of my regular viewers, I'll fill you in as quickly as possible. Last week, I posted a video about how we know the Earth isn't flat. This was really just to reinforce and contextualize some lessons from earlier in my astronomy playlist. I figured I'd get a few trolls, nothing major, but instead the entirety of the Flat Earth community descended upon it with a vengeance. The YouTube channel Globe Busters informed me that they were going to be deconstructing my video in their weekly live stream, and they invited me to check it out. I didn't really know what to expect. I thought there'd be some degree of dialogue or exchange. There definitely wasn't. Everything they were saying I was discrediting in real time, and they were acknowledging none of it. On top of that, they were extremely rude to me, so I had to respond simply as a point of honor, and that's this. So let's begin. I'll start with the only valid criticism you had of me, and that is that I misrepresented your model and didn't research it enough. You're right. I didn't look up almost anything you believe. But now that you've told me so many of the things that you do believe, even better, let's go through how all of them are wrong. Since I botched your model so horribly, let's go straight to yours. This is the one you showed me to explain the seasons. It attempts to account for the temperature differential throughout the year, but I'm sorry, it's not compatible with observation. Here's why. These are the two tropics. I don't know what you think these circumferences are, but it's safe to say that this one is smaller than this one. If that's the case, one of two things must be true. Option 1. This object maneuvers the inner path in a shorter amount of time than it maneuvers the outer path, which would make summer shorter than winter. It's not. Option 2, it moves much slower up here and much faster down here so that all of the circles take the same amount of time.
That's not what the model shows it doing, though. The model shows it jumping from one to the other. So he's already taken what the model does out of context entirely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can see I mean, we'll he's got like 45 minutes.
But that's Dave. Yeah, I mean, that's Dave's model. That's Arctic ice wall thingy. That's, you know,
right
in the middle is the North Pole. There's a whole bunch of, what's really weird, there's a book that's called, I think it's like 19 emergency landings that prove flat Earth.
Yeah.
And for every airplane that goes up into the sky that does any particular route, you know, they have X, Y, Z places that they can land in case of an emergency. And there are a number of these emergency landings that if you look at it on a globe Earth, an airplane flying there to make an emergency landing makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. There is no reason, there's no fuel for you to do it. If you have to make an emergency landing, you're not going to go hundreds or thousands of miles out of your way to make an emergency landing. But if you lay the Earth down on the flat Earth model that is represented like we just saw there, the emergency landings make a ridiculous amount of sense. And it's freaky. It is. You said, I'm not saying I necessarily subscribe to it. I don't even think it changes anything. Not about the way that I already understand the world is the way it operates. I think we live in a simulation anyway. So, I mean, really, the shape of the Earth doesn't really matter to me, but it's really freaking interesting.
Well, can I throw something onto that I heard about? And this is somebody who, I guess, he charged plane courses and follows them and tracks them, and I'm like, I guess you got a lot of fucking time on your hands. But anyway, he was like,
you're making out.
There's no record of flights when they go from certain countries, and there's certain gaps that you cannot track that plane through certain areas, and it just dropped. Like, you're in the middle of a flight and it stops tracking the plane for like 3 or 4 hours in the middle, and then comes back on, and you're off the coast of, you know, the United States. It's some really odd stuff that I don't have an explanation for.
I just don't see how a planet could form flat, right, and still maintain
it's not flat.
Well, I mean, it's not flat, but the top is flat, but like the bottom is supposed to be like some sort of.
Think of it like a. Think of it like a basin.
Right.
Like, think of all of the continents as just giant fucking islands in a basin. There's, you know, obviously there would be a high point, the Arctic coast all the way around.
So it's like a bowl then, kind of like
basin. That's what a basin is. It's a bubble, just huge.
But how can, I mean, I don't see how it could form as a basin either. I mean, like, especially when we look through telescopes and see
how could
planets.
let's say, for example, and how do we know that they're round? By the way, have we circumnavigated Neptune? Have you?
Have I? No. Well, I may have yesterday.
What did we circumnavigate? We circumnavigated a moon, I think, maybe, that we saw some images of.
Right.
But Cassini, right? Those taking pictures of flat Saturn and navigating one of the moons, right? I mean, I don't know. And then there's the whole thing about, like, do you honestly believe NASA?
Yeah. That one. Because here's a question you got to answer also. If we're going to go to these images, we're going to go to these images.
Just asking questions. I don't want anybody to get mad.
I want somebody to answer this question for me. If we know that the Mercator, the Mercator map is inaccurate, correct? Are you guys familiar with what I'm talking about? The difference between the Mercator map and the Gale Peters map?
Okay, maybe you should.
For those who don't know, when a lot of the colonizers were starting to take over all these different areas, and they started making more maps of the entire, planet. What they decided to do was make all the European nations bigger than they actually were, and make all the stuff that would be considered the global south all smaller, i.e., why Africa looks smaller than what Africa is, when Africa is actually like almost the size of the whole entire America's connected. I mean, it's damn near that big. I mean, it's about 85% of the whole America's connected. But if you see that on the Mercator map, it makes Africa look like it's only a little bit bigger than South America. That's incorrect. Another thing, it makes Greenland look like it's very large when Greenland is not nearly that large. And when I lived in Europe, it was obvious to me that Europe is not nearly as big as it looks on the map because of how easy it is to travel and hit certain places driving. I mean, you can travel through most of like Western Europe just like you're traveling the northeast of America, basically. It's like going from state to state. It's not that big, but on the Mercator map, they make it look all of those nations bigger and all the ones below look smaller. Well, the Gail Peters map was supposed to be, and they tried to say that the reason why is because, when it wraps around like a globe, it stretches it out in the imaging, and so they had to do it that way. Well, when you look at a Gail Peters map, the Gail Peters map has more realistic size comparisons. And when you look at the NASA images, which they show of the globe, of the planet, of the Earth, it has the Mercator map. It has the images on the Mercator map letting you know that that is a created false image.
That's crazy. No, I mean, to answer your question, I don't trust NASA for shit.
You shouldn't. How many times have they been caught with the doing some of their, we're floating outer space, and you got bubbles floating up in some of these images on live streams, letting you know that they're in a pool.
Yeah, those images.
Or they're supposed to be in zero gravity, and the guy's holding something and he drops it and it falls straight to the floor. And the rest of them have to like pretend as if that didn't happen. That shit is kind of funny.
Remember the guy? He was like, "Oh yeah, and we're here right next to my hometown in Iowa," and then all of them like,
nah, son, don't say that shit. You just fucking up, son. Don't say that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you want to pull that up real quick, Warren, to give people an idea of how big Western Europe is.
Which one? Which map you want to?
The one that's I threw it here in the StreamYard.
Okay, give me a second here. All right.
So you should just be able to click on it next to either me or Marcus or Chris. Should be.
Let's see videos.
Like
Flat Earth podcast.
What? No. In the shares. Like if you were going to share a video or you were going to share an article, it's down where me and
I got it. Yeah. Okay. I got you.
That's Texas. That's Texas. Over like half a dozen European countries or more.
Yeah, right. France, Germany, Italy, you got Czech Republic, Austria, Belgium, all of these countries, all basically covering all that.
It doesn't seem right, though, right? I mean,
but it is though. Like, I mean, if you look at the bottom of Texas on there, that is getting close to the bottom of the mainland Italy. I was stationed in Sicily. I've literally driven. I guess towards the middle where Rome. If you go all the way down the boot that's at the bottom, that's Sicily. I have literally driven from Sicily all the way up to France, and it took maybe like 4 or 5 hours. I mean, well, maybe it was a little longer, maybe like 6-7 hours. It didn't take that long.
That's about the equivalent of going from Biloxi, Mississippi to maybe St. Louis, I would think. About that like, because I've traveled that before. It's about
it's LA to like Sacramento.
Right. So if you look at the Texas on there, and then you add the rest of the United States, it looks like it's as big as Russia, if not bigger.
In fact, Steve, pull up a Gail Peters map, and then you can see how big Africa is compared to, like, the Americas. Or actually, the Gail Peters shows you the more accurate reflection of all that stuff. And I'm trying to remember which clip it is. It's one TV show where they go into it and they start talking about it. And he's like, wait a minute, what? That's not that size? And then he starts talking about, well, how do you even know if we're actually in the north or the south? And it gets kind of crazy and makes everybody get a little confused. But yeah.
Oops, I can't get this to go any further, I don't think. Damn it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it looks wow.
Yeah.
So okay, now that makes more sense. Like if you put the United States over Europe, it would look a lot more like where that Texas thing that Steve was pulling up. Oh man, we don't even know nothing, do we?
No, we don't. That's the thing. And so many people have gotten so hardcore on what they think they know. And
Right.
like I remember, like there were certain people in history, I won't say the name, but we were taught that these people are so evil, don't even read anything they've ever said. And then you'd be scared to read it because you'd be worried somebody's going to think I believe what these people believe because I'm researching them.
Uh-huh.
And so you'd be scared to go to a library and pick up certain books because you wouldn't want people to think that you're adopting these philosophies or this thinking. But then when you actually start reading certain people, you realize, I didn't realize they said that. I didn't realize they said this. I didn't realize, like, I'll give you a perfect example. Do you know that Karl Marx was called a self-hating, I'll leave it at that, because he criticized a lot of the people who were running things who happened to be of his same ethnic group?
Really?
Yes. But you only hear that his criticism of capitalism as a whole. You don't hear that he was criticizing specific groups of people within that. It starts with a Z and it'll end with the ist. I'll leave it at that.
Yes, I think we put 2 and 2 together on that one. So
he was criticizing those people even back then.
So this is why I wanted you guys on here, because like already my mind is blown. If I would still be wearing the tinfoil hat, it would have blown off. So the Earth may or may not be a basin. We don't really know the sizes, or we think we know the sizes of the continents. It's a good possibility that we didn't go to the moon, and that the space station is bullshit too. Did I leave anything out?
I'll tell you something I noticed that blew my mind. Being out to sea. I remember being out to sea and I'm like, this is a completely clear night. I cannot see the moon. I cannot see stars. What the hell is going on? It's so dark. I literally cannot see my hand like 3 inches in front of my face. How is it this dark? That never made any sense to me either. But unless you've been like out that far out to sea, because most cruise ships, they don't go that far. But for instance, like crossing the Atlantic, on a ship that takes about 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks, going at about, even when we're streaming at about 35 knots, which is about 50 miles an hour. once you get about after you've been out for about a week, you get that far out that you literally can't see any land in any direction, can't see any light in any direction at night. And I'm like, I don't understand that. Or what is it which they show? It's like a meme that they show all the time about how the stars are like circling. Nobody's explained that. Or constellations. When you look at certain constellations, they should be in certain spots according to a globe map, and they don't always line up with these things. So I'm like, I don't know. Somebody needs to make this stuff make more sense.
All I know is you go out that far and you don't see land or anything like that, your ass is going to get eaten by a kraken. That's guaranteed. The kraken's going to get your motherfucking ass. So do not do that. Always be able to see land, folks. That's a little tip from me. So with all that being said, then what about is this all just like the Matrix? Is this just like a simulation? Like everything?
To a degree.
Could be.
To a degree, I believe so. Like, I mean, everybody who knows me, they know I'm a fairly faith-based guy. I believe everything is predestined. We feel like we have free will and we're making decisions. And I decided that I'm going to have this tea. Well, not really. That was already decided for you. It's just you think you made that decision. You think that you walked across the street and found $20, but that was just meant to happen.
Well, I mean, is there anything like physical cues, or just like maybe people say they have a sixth sense? Is that like maybe certain people can sense that, like, they really know that this is a simulation? I mean, have you ever heard any stories about people like that? Or
here, I'll give you one. I'm pretty sure everybody can identify with this. How many people have been to a place they've never been before in their life? Yeah, it feels like deja vu. It feels like I remember this. And you've never been to that city, never been to that state, wherever it is, never been to that building, but it eerily feels reminiscent, as if you've been there before. And like some faiths believe in reincarnation. I don't believe in reincarnation per se. I believe in regeneration, that we do come back in different iterations of ourselves, almost like, that movie Cloud Atlas. Perfect example. All of our spirits have been around, and we just keep being reborn back in to redo everything all over again and try to get it right this time around, instead of how we screwed it up maybe the time before. And maybe pay for some of our wrongs we did the first time around, this time.
But who do you think is deciding that? All right, now I know you'll say God, but what is God then? I know that's like kind of a deep thing. If we're talking about a simulation, is this we're talking about like a great programmer? Or
but are we all not, do we all not have flesh, flesh, fluids, liquids, and electrical signals? We've been able to see that we live on a magnetic plates and things like that. I mean, the idea that we're all living in an environment which has fresh air for us to breathe. Now, granted, let's rule out, the destroying the atmosphere for a minute. If the atmosphere isn't destroyed, through a lot of our corporations and things like that, we have fresh fruit, which we could take off trees. We have food that we can eat that grows naturally for us. We have corn, weed, all of these things that we don't even have to do any producing to do. We could throw a pole in the water, kill a fish, and, have fire and eat. There's so many ways where everything is set up and conducive for us to have this environment. And so either we're in a big sense of a million freaking accidents for everything to fall in place. Or there is some kind of design to it. There is some kind of rhythm. Now different people can decide if they believe it's God and it's this God and that's how this God is, or if it's just an energy source or whatever they want to recognize it as. But I think it's hard to accept that there was just a big explosion and everything just fell into place perfectly.
But I mean, is it really perfect? though? I mean, like,
we've destroyed it, but at a certain point in time, I'm pretty sure it was a lot more perfect.
Yeah, probably before we came along, it was pretty good.
That's what I'm saying. We've mucked it up.
we're the cancer cells, I think the first thing, I mean, I was kind of into the Kennedy conspiracy, right? I think a lot of kids were back then, because when I was a puppy, that shit was still kind of fresh. I mean, I was born 6 years later. And then I remember even as a little kid in the 70s, my parents kind of talking about it. And of course, my dad said, "Oh, yeah, the government did it. The government did it." Even back then, they were like, "Oh, yeah, the government's just shady as hell."
Think about especially what year it could have been if it was post-Church Committee or if it was post, disclosure of COINTELPRO. Or, I mean, dude, the like your parents, our parents, dude, they watch a fucking gangster walk up and murder the prime suspect in the Kennedy assassination. On live TV.
Yeah.
Well, after they watched the president get his brains blown out.
That's why we have delays now on TV.
Yeah. I mean, the whole, anybody
and
with
then
they
fake the moon landing. No wonder people are hooked on that thing, dude. The first 15 years of television were the craziest shit imaginable.
So do you think the faking of the moon landing had anything to do, maybe in part of fulfilling Kennedy's dream? Because he said by the end of the decade he wanted it done, and it's like 68
that was
comes along.
That was some Cold War stuff.
Cold War.
That was some justification of endless funding, a black hole for taxpayer money.
And it also had to do with a degree of Russophobia.
Sure.
We can't have the Russians, because honestly, what it was. Because think about who the people who were for NASA. They basically were weapons. Well, yeah, Operation Paperclip. They were actually literal Nazis. They were rocket makers, bomb builders. This was basically an arms race.
Yeah.
And what they needed a way to keep the money going, because coming out of all these different wars, America didn't have an appetite for another World War II, didn't have the appetite, the Korean War, it's spoiled on people. And how do we keep this war funding? I mean, Dwight D. Eisenhower told us, be careful of the military industrial complex. And a lot of people, that warning kind of fell on deaf ears. And NASA is just a big cover for a lot of that shit to go on.
That's what I felt too. That in later years, at the time, obviously I was a little kid, and I liked the fact that the idea of men were getting in these rocket ships and going to the moon, because that was around the time Star Trek was around, and and people were just getting excited about propaganda. It's all propaganda, but you don't know that as a little kid.
Well, it's also where you get Space Force. The whole reason that we were in the space race in the first place was because the Russians were going to build a nuclear base on the moon.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the propaganda. The Russians are going to weaponize space. And then you've got the, jump forward a bit, Star Wars and Reagan and all that crap. But like the guy who was put in charge of Space Force under Trump said, we want asymmetrical military superiority of space. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever the U.S. can have asymmetrical military superiority, a galaxy far, far away, they're intending to do that.
And I always found it interesting about I'm trying to remember which Apollo it was, the one which like blew up literally on national TV, like what was it?
The
Challenger. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Challenger blows up.
Krista McCullough, the teacher.
Yeah. All of a sudden, all of these people who look very similar to the people who are on there all start popping up.
Oh, that shit's crazy.
The excuse is, this is like
they all had
twin brothers. Like twin brothers and twin sisters, and no, this lady's just a lookalike who has a similar name. I was like, what? Hold on. That's not making sense.
That's wild.
The Challenger thing is crazy. It is.
Yeah. I heard about the twins.
And then you see how, if you ever look at like a NASA flight, every single one of those suckers goes like this, and it starts curving the hell over. And I'm like, why don't you just keep going up? Why don't you just keep going up? Every single one of those you watch, they literally go freaking horizontal. Why are they going horizontal?
Now, I've talked to a physicist buddy of mine, and the reason they do it at an angle is because of to get out of the atmosphere, right? If you go straight up, it's kind of like hitting the water flat. You want to go at an angle kind of thing. But I don't know. I said, none of us have been to space, so I'm not sure.
There's those people who say that they've never. What about the Van Allen belts?
Oh yeah, the radiation. Yeah, how like a little. How thin the material was that they were going through space in. That the radiation.
Well, even the International Space Station isn't past the Van Allen belts.
Nope.
It's just in the upper atmosphere.
And they will tell you, well, technically we're in outer space, but we've never went past the Van Allen belt. So if you've never went past it, how the hell did you go to the moon?
How did you go? What's Cassini?
And then they start saying, well, no, actually, the moon is actually within the belts. That's what became the new excuse.
Yeah. Oh, the moon's way closer than we thought.
Yeah.
Turns out we didn't need to carry the two.
And then another thing I have to ask people is, okay, so if we went all the way to the moon, so you're saying the Earth is spinning at how fast? And the moon is orbiting around. And so we got all these orbitings and spinning. You telling me that somebody sat there with 1960s technology, basically a calculator, and I mean, literally, our calculators were stronger.
Didn't you see the movie? It was a brave black woman who figured it all out.
We're smart,
really
but not that
saw
damn
the
smart.
movie. We're
did, smart, but not that damn smart.
You did. There's the line in Shane Gillis' stand-up special where he says his dad refers to that movie as Medea Goes to Space.
Oh, wow. Shit. I'm amazed we haven't had a Medea Goes to Space. Isn't that usual the natural trend of movies that when you get to Jason, like bottom of the barrel? Yeah, Jason Goes to Space.
Jason went to space. So
Leslie Nielsen went to space. I mean, why not Medea?
Space.
Ooh, this moon dust sure is dirty. Oh, I ain't cleaning it. Anyway, I don't know.
You're
I've
like,
never seen a
Junior,
video show.
Junior, get my vacuum out. I need to clean this mess up.
Oh shit, fellas, we got to get Tyler Perry on the phone and say, hey, look, we got an idea for you. Just give us a taste.
No.
You know?
If we ever get Tyler Perry on the phone, we get to yell at Tyler Perry.
All right, but let's get some money out of him too.
And I'm gonna say, why did you screw over Monique? That's what I'm gonna ask him.
Mm-hmm.
There's another conspiracy.
Another thing I'll ask him is, okay, and this is honestly, if I got to talk to any black person of that stature with all the freaking money that they have, because I talked about this before as far as like the Oscars thing. Y'all literally have enough money that you can say, you know what? We're tired of the unequal pay, and because in Hollywood, like literally, like Mark Wahlberg makes like 5 to 6 times more than like Denzel Washington. Are you gonna tell me that Mark Wahlberg is a more talented actor than Denzel Washington? Fuck no. But they still keep on taking the second tier treatment. They think about how the NFL has done with a lot of the black coaches. You guys have all of this money that you're sitting on. Why don't you just say, you know what? Let's go to fucking pick a spot. Iowa. Iowa's hardly populated. Let's just have all of the wealth, just all black wealth, just all move to Iowa and build up our own like versions of Atlanta and New York City right there.
Because of what happened the last time. Did that happen? Maybe.
That's what I know. I like to hope that maybe in the
whole let's go burn Black Wall Street down thing. That fucking.
I like to hope that they wouldn't do that again. But I mean, with all the cell phone cameras, but
right,
you can't put that past the elites in this country. You really can't.
But
because if people think that was just like randomly the people in town decided to do that,
I don't know if you've been to Cedar Rapids lately or not, but you got a good start.
Yeah, but here's the thing: but who still runs the damn state government?
Yeah.
See, you're good there in Athens. You're good there in parts of Atlanta, Bankhead, and shit like that. Peachtree, But once you get back to who's running the fucking state government and the House and the state Senate and the Attorney General,
Bankhead so far is the only place in my life where we got pulled over and the black cop got out and was like, "You guys are in the wrong neighborhood. You do not make enough money. You are not the right color, and we're going to treat you way worse than the rich white people would treat you if they caught you in their neighborhood right now. We all know why you're here, so why don't you get the fuck out while you still can. Just go.
Yeah. I don't know if you've been there, Uncle Warren. It's like black people would be looking at Steve like, dirty. Get away from me. He's poor.
Bankhead? Is that in Georgia?
Yeah.
Is that north? Is that north of Atlanta? I think I know what you're talking about.
To Marcus's point, I mean, he would have been correct at that, but I was staying over in Candler Park.
Okay, all right, okay.
That's where I was at. So I was not living my best life. But but no, dude, it was wild. It was wild. It's crazy.
So I thought Chris went to go change into another power polo, but he's sticking with this one. I like that. You got some continuity to you. I appreciate that. So this one's for you, Chris. I want to save my favorite conspiracy till the end, and it's what you were talking about earlier. The day known as the day after September 10th, and since I live here, I've gotten to speak to a few of the locals that were in downtown Manhattan at the time, and they tell vastly different stories than what the official narrative says. And they were talking about it was a lot of like what was in the some of those early videos too, like before they got wise and said, nope, we gotta get rid of that shit. They were talking about explosions underground, that kind of thing was going on. I mean, what else about that?
Well, the
Chris?
BBC announced the collapse of Building 7 an hour before it ever actually. Oh, sorry, I'll back up.
Yeah, she the lady who was in the live shot, you could see behind her, the building was still standing, and she said it just collapsed. That's one of the things I point out to people too. It's like Building 7 has always just been the epicenter of all this shit that no one could explain with any sort of reasonable explanation. You know, trash does not bring down a fucking building. I'm sorry, right? I mean, Chris, what do you think about that?
Like probably most people who are watching, you know, what's up to everybody? I can't see the comments, so I don't know what anybody's saying, but you know, what's up? But,
they want to hear you speak, my man.
But with that being said, you know, it was weird. One thing I think is weird that every single person in the country seemed to turn on the TV as a second plane was hitting the building. It seems as if no one missed that part. And then it got me thinking, like, damn, did they have this shit like set up on like a tape so that when you started, like when the signal went to your television, like, you know, they already had the image there? I don't know. I mean, you know, it's a little bit out there. But I did find it a little funny. Everyone saw that second plane hit the building. Going on to Building 7, I mean, what they tell us, they said they were storing gasoline in Building 7. Is that
diesel fuel?
Diesel fuel that they were storing in Building 7. So let's wrap our heads around this, right? So you have this as a depot for diesel fuel, and you left it on the 10th floor, 11th floor, whatever floor that was, that caught where the fire started. It just doesn't make any sense. If you need fucking gas, you'll put that shit on the ground floor. Like, let's stop playing.
No, yeah, nobody's gonna put gas on the 10th floor. That's some bullshit. I mean, you don't even need to know shit to know that that's bullshit. Were you in New York when it happened?
Yeah, it was. Actually, I was in Hunter College at the time, and I was supposed to go to school that day, but the 10th we went out, and I got like, I was with my white boys, so I got white boy wasted that Monday night. So sure enough, when you know my
he was singing "Don't Stop Believing" at 1:57 in the morning.
Just a small town girl. Did you hit karaoke? Did you?
No, we didn't do all. No, we didn't do all that.
I think I saw him singing "Sweet Caroline" also.
Ooh, ooh.
Look, but we did go out. We did go out that Monday night, and we were in Queens and we were in Brooklyn, and you know, I went out, got super lit, and then Monday, you know, it's Tuesday morning, I have class, and I just remember my alarm going off at 6 something in the morning, and I just hit the alarm. I was like, I'm going back to bed. So you know, I wake up and I'm thinking, I wake up like 7 something, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to school. The next best thing is to do is to call a female. So I got on the phone with a female, right? So I'm talking to her, and I'm trying to make plans to see what she's doing for the day, see if she has any time, whatever. Somebody else, another female, called me on the other line, and I was pretending I was asleep, right? I'm like, hello, because I didn't want her to know I was awake, right? Whatever. So with that being said, she's like, Chris, did you see what happened? And I was like, no, I just woke up. And she's
no,
like,
I ain't talking to no other bitch. What?
Correct, Steve. So she's like, no, but really, put the TV on. Oh my God, you got to see it. So I was like, I don't want to put the TV on. And she's like, no, I'm serious. Put the TV on. So that's when I did, and I saw the second building get hit, and I was like, oh, this movie looks kind of cool. I thought it was like Independence. I thought it was like the Independence Day, the sequel type shit, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
And I got off the phone with her, and I clicked back to the other lady I was talking to, and I told her, hey, put on the TV. And as I was telling her that, I changed it from NBC. I went to ABC. I went to Fox. I went to UPN. What was the other one? What was it called before it changed to CW? WPIX.
The WB.
Yeah, the WB. I turned on all the channels, and
you went to all the black stations first, didn't you?
Of course. So I turned all the channels at the same time, had all the same footage on, and I was just like, oh shit, this is not a movie. You know, this is real. So naturally, I get off the phone, and I ran up to my building on the roof to see if I could see anything. We were too far out in the part of Queens I lived in, but we ended up later on that day going towards like Shea Stadium, Long Island City, in that particular area. And it was just surreal because people were walking across the 59th Street Bridge. I've never seen people walk across the 59th Street Bridge. And at that point, you could start to smell shit, and you could see like the soot. You could see it in the distance. It wasn't far. You could see all that shit. At the time we were like, damn, we didn't know what happened clearly that day. But to be honest, we were thinking about robbing stores because we are like, all the police are leaving Queens and they're going into the city. So, us degenerates was like, yo, we can go to Jamaica Avenue and hit all the jewelry spots real quick, and we probably could get away with it today. So I'm telling you, I wasn't even thinking
that would have been the day.
Oh, yeah, can you imagine getting caught, snitched out for being the dude who robbed a motherfucker on 9/11? And what, like the fucking just crazed motherfuckers, especially in New York after that. I was in Tuxedo Park. I was right across the TZ. And fucking, like, we couldn't, eventually there was so much smoke and shit in the sky, you couldn't see shit for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Gross.
But I didn't think of course at that moment as it's happening, I didn't think like, oh shit, the government did this or it's fake or anything like that. Again, we were late teenagers after high school, so it's just one of those things where we would just think about that there's no police around anywhere, so we could do anything we wanted at the moment. Obviously afterwards when the smoke cleared, then it became kind of weird. And again, once it became apparent that Building 7 fell without a plane hitting it, that's kind of when me and my friends were like, there's some off to this. We couldn't quite put it together, but you add that with the fact that we then went from, it was Al-Qaeda training in Afghanistan to we need to take out Saddam Hussein. At that point, it just became like, all right, there was some bullshit that happened that day, and we don't know. But one thing I will say is that Americans are stupid. And if I offend any Americans, hey, too bad. It was so bad that day. There were so many Indian people getting off the buses, and they saw the news. They ran to school to get their kids out of school because they knew that people were going to assume that they were Muslim. Yeah. And these are Indians. I'm talking about red dot, not feather.
Yeah.
And it was kind of sad. I remember, I'll never forget it because me and my homeboys were standing on the corner. And we were watching all of them get off the bus, and they were like basically dragging their kids so they could hurry up and get back to the house because they knew people were just going to mistake them for Muslims. So, you saw a lot of ugliness on that day. You saw a lot of fear. And it wasn't just fear that, oh my God, we're going to be bombed again. It was fear like white dudes is going to fuck us up. Because, us, we in the hood, like I said, we think about other shit.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say,
throw one thing in.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Marcus.
because I thought about this when he talked about how the fuel and all those things and the police and everything were moved to the towers. Does anybody remember what happened not long before that? A van was parked there.
Yeah.
So if this place was already a place that would be a high value target, then you have a so-called attempted attack happen not very long before that, only a handful of years before.
Yeah, 93.
Why in the hell would you move everything to that building right after it? Was it 93 or 95? I can't remember.
It's 93.
93.
Mm-hmm. But that doesn't make any sense. Why you would move everything to that building? I mean, it gets real sketchy when you start looking into some of the shit.
Yeah, I was down south when that shit happened. I was working at a TV station, and I tell you what, ESPN didn't give a shit because I was watching that this morning. It was football season, and you know, I'm a big Saints fan, and I was watching ESPN getting ready to go to work, and nothing on there. And the place, the TV station is only a few blocks away. I got to work. And one of the production guys was just sitting outside. He had a cigarette in his mouth, and he just looked like, you know, somebody just shot his dog. And I said, "What the hell happened to you? Are you okay?" He goes, "You haven't heard?" And then I go inside the newsroom, and it's like, boom, it's all over the things there. And I know it's a sports channel, but like something that big with multiple attacks, and you don't just break it. I mean, usually like you would do something like that for something that major, and they didn't even do that. And I thought maybe that was part of trying to keep some people from knowing about it or something. But I mean, that's kind of stupid. Everybody's going to find out. I just, you know, it really shocked me.
At the time, nobody even thought about the absurdity of going back to what Steve referenced earlier. No one even questioned the absurdity of the fucking passport that was found. I mean, you know, everything is on fucking fire. The wind is blowing. There's smoke everywhere. There's debris falling. You got people jumping out the buildings. You know, you got people trapped in the subways running, and they found this intact passport. Let's go with it, right? And say, fine.
No black box.
Thank you.
No black box.
I was just about to say that. They didn't find the black box, but they found the passport.
That's because the thermite melted it.
Correct. If there even was a black box on that plane, right? Number one. Two, let's just say they did find the passport. You really think that this guy who's on the FBI's most wanted list used his real actual name in that passport? It just makes no fucking sense that people would not even get that part. So I'm on the most wanted list. My name is fucking horrible. So yeah, I just went through customs. I got this name. There's no check, no nothing. And I was able to get on this plane, but I'm on the most wanted list. All right. Again, it just makes no sense, you know. And going further, even when you start looking into the Pentagon, that shit don't make no sense either.
One camera that worked,
You know,
and it was a Fisher-Price camera. It was a Fisher-Price camera. You had to crank it on the side to get the shit to work, because it was like frame, smoke. It was like 3 frames or some bullshit like that, right?
So do you guys believe the planes actually hit the building or not?
I don't think so.
You don't think planes hit the building at all?
Not the Pentagon. I mean, well, they may have hit the towers, but the Pentagon, no, that was a straight up missile. You know, it was just like out in Pennsylvania when they found garbage in a ditch and they called it plane wreckage. You know, that's like, come on, dude. Really?
And they said the brave, what they say, the brave survivors fought the terrorists and they brought the plane down to save Americans. And when that plane hit, it was kibbles and bits. We ain't never seen a plane crash in the history of mankind. A plane crash to the extent in a field, so to speak. And there's no big parts. There's no engine. There's no tail. There's no nothing. There's just kibbles and bits all over the floor. That shit don't make any sense.
Yeah, it was the
But
same.
you know, they thought once they were able to get away with 9/11, they said, "Oh shit, we can get away with anything."
Well, they already got away with the moon landing, so they already been.
They murdered a president on live television in front of everyone.
Yeah, but that was for a different generation. I'm talking about for our generation. Like they brought down buildings. Like, you know, you can kill somebody. Look, we want to kill the president. Look, we can set this up and make it happen. But they brought down actual like towers that are God knows how many stories are in there, and they put a hole in the Pentagon and made people think it was a plane. A plane supposedly crashed and turned into pebbles. They really said, "Yo, sky's the limit from here. This is not. We're not gonna try." Fast forward 20 years, they told us we're all sick, and
I mean, and that shit was
to wear masks and all that bullshit.
Yeah, right. I mean, well, that shit was a crime scene too, and they were hauling off shit right after too. And it's like, no, what were you doing? They were like hauling it away, like, oh, nothing to see here.
You know,
we're just gonna take it away.
You know, as a native New Yorker, the worst part of 9/11, I'll say it, was that it elevated that piece of shit Rudy Giuliani to quote unquote America's mayor just because he walked through some fucking dust. Oh my God, if I could have ran through and did something to him on camera, I really would have. I mean, that was probably for me personally the worst part about it because I hated Giuliani. I still hate his cross-dressing ass.
He ruined New
Yeah,
for real. And the black counterpart. I mean, the black Rudy's doing the same thing now. That's Eric.
Oh yeah, Mayor Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck that cop.
Correct.
Yeah, he's horrible.
Yeah,
he's horrible. They just turned. They turned New York into a millionaire's paradise, is what it is. It's just like all the neighborhoods are just pretty much gentrified now. You might be able to see some for real out in Brownsville or East New York, but hell, they're gonna get them too. You know, it's just a matter of time. And, you know, it's just mommy and daddy paying for people's rents. And that's why the shit's so expensive around here, you know? And I think that was by design. Right. They didn't want these poor people in New York anymore. You know, I don't know.
David Dinkins ordered a bunch of police. They got rid of Dinkins. Giuliani came in with this oversized police force. And what they did was just run through the city and they arrested every homeless person, every person who looked like they was smoking a roach or what have you. If they didn't arrest them, they gave them a bus ticket and sent them to Point South. That was basically his cleaning up of New York. Was just getting rid of all the poor people. And I think in 2000, I think like rent control had expired. So that's when you just saw like the rents, you know, shoot right through the roof, even more so than they already were. And then that just made the city like unaffordable. It was the beginning, you know, of the new New York.
I just want to know who was the mayor that got rid of the peep shows, because I hate that motherfucker. You got rid of my peep shows. I wanted to come to New York and peep shows. Was it Giuliani?
Times Square.
I think it was Giuliani, but I think it was while he was prosecutor.
Yeah.
Well, he was going after some of the mobsters, but at the same time too, you know, they took away all our jokes because we used to joke like, "Yo, your mom's worked on 42nd Street." You know what I'm saying? I seen your mom's in Times Square. Like now you can't do that. Like, you know, it's all like Disney now.
Yeah, because your mom may actually work on 42nd Street now, you know, and it's, you know, it's a wholly different scene. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. She's holding down the gift shop. It's a nice job. She has benefits. Thanks.
Correct. But back in the
everybody
day,
knows that's a shitty like, joke right there. Fight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Oh, well, I don't know,
Brooklyn,
man.
Even Brooklyn, like what they did in Brooklyn is just horrible. Not to say that Brooklyn didn't need to be cleaned up a little bit, because Brooklyn did when I was growing up. Brooklyn did,
but not like this way.
Vietnam, yeah, but not this way.
Not this way. Not when 112-pound blue-haired thing is teaching at the high school that Jay-Z went to. Yeah. That's
well, and they lifted that ban on.
Doesn't seem right, man. It just doesn't.
I didn't when he was from Was he from Marcy Projects?
That was for you, Chris. That was for you, Chris.
Yeah, I got it, Steve. No, I got it. No, yeah, he's from Marcy Projects.
I used to live near the Marcy Projects, and yeah, that's even cleaned up somewhat. So,
look, the fact that Warren said I used to live near Marcy Projects is something, because all my time growing up and all the time I've spent in Brooklyn, in Bed-Stuy, East New York, on Utica, Albany Projects, Breezeway Projects, all the places in Brooklyn that I'm super familiar with, I never saw white people ever. Just the police. Those are literally the only white people you would see.
There's white people around there, and you go a little further south of Marcy Projects, and then you got the tenements and all the Hasidic Jews and stuff there. Just whole big population right there.
Correct. Well, the Hasidic Jews, you saw them, but they're different. They stick to themselves, and you can't walk on their side of the street.
Their street signs are in Hebrew. You're not dealing with,
Yeah, that's not normal.
And they jaywalk like crazy too, because I used to ride my bike down on Flushing Avenue to go to work, and motherfuckers just come out of nowhere, and I was like, man, you thought I was like, anti-Semitic or something.
In full kit
with the hat and the coat. It'd be 90 degrees, humid, wearing all that shit. I was like, well, you deserve that heat. You're gonna walk out in the middle of the street like that, motherfucker.
Well, and they don't wear deodorant or anything like that. So when you get close to them, like, it really is an assault on your nose.
Yeah,
it really is. If your nose hairs are a little long, you just go next to them, they trim them right up, because your shit's gonna burn right off.
Wow.
Say you don't have to buy the tools or the stuff to do it. You just
go stand right next to them. Just go stand right next to them. It's all good.
I don't know if you could tell by my face. I've never seen a Hasidic Jewish person in real life.
Really?
They got them in LA. They're in LA. I saw them.
But I didn't grow up here.
I saw
in LA,
4 of them. I didn't see that many though. I called them the Jewish Beatles, because there was like 4 of them, and they were walking down the sidewalk, and I was like, it's the Jewish Beatles. That's great.
No, like the Labor Day parade on Eastern Parkway, right, Warren?
Oh yeah, yeah.
For those who don't know Brooklyn, Labor Day, it's a West Indian Day parade, right? So everybody from the Caribbean, that's their day. It's on Eastern Parkway. Eastern Parkway is a super long strip in Brooklyn, and it's wide as hell. One side of the street is for the parade and the watchers. The other side is where the Hasidic Jews live, and it's all barricaded, all police protected. Do not try to walk on that side of the street. You will be directed to cross the street. If you choose not to, you probably get thrown in the back of the paddy wagon. But it was, those are some eye-opening things as kids, to look at, just saying like, damn, who the fuck are these people that they so special? You can't even walk on the street. Like, nowhere else in New York has anybody ever told you, like, you're not supposed to walk on the street. But in that particular area, during that particular day, you're not allowed to go over there. It's wild.
Yeah. I don't ever have Kevlar, so I don't ever go to them Labor Day parades, because there's somebody getting shot at one of those things. There usually is. They used to
every Saturday night.
Went from the St. Patrick's Day parade, which they cleaned up. But the West Indian parade, Saturday
night. The Saturday night before the Sunday parade is called Juve, right? So that's when everybody goes out and parties. Somebody always gets shot right in their face all the time. I think it was like an assemblyman from like 6 or 7 years ago. He caught a bullet right between his eyes and died. Right out there. That's a dangerous night. I remember going out there when I was a teenager. Shots were flying. Me and my cousin hiding under the damn car, praying that we don't get shot because my father was going to kill us.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I couldn't go home and say, Dad, we got shot. He would have murdered me for being out there because he told me not to go out there. But of course, I broke all the rules anyway. That's why I'm fucked up now, because I don't listen.
At least you can admit it, Chris. That's all right.
Correct.
I was gonna say, cool. We got you see Lainey Peterson, Hard Lens out there. Cool, big fan of her work.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this. So I want to ask all three of you this question since we're talking about rabbit hole shit, and we don't need to. I don't want to dwell too much on it because this is another shit that will get us canceled. Is the Red Cross a legitimate organization or not?
No.
Okay. So whenever they report the amount of people who died in Western Europe during a certain conflict, are they incorrect about their number because they don't go with that 6 million number?
Well,
they report a totally different figure.
Were you talking about the 200,000 number?
I don't know which number it is they said that died, but their number is not as large as the 6 million. So I'm just curious to say.
But from which state? The Red Cross in 1946, or the Red Cross in 1996, or the Red Cross in 2060?
1940s.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know. I know what a couple of the original statues said and plaques said, and those numbers are significantly less than the ones reported currently.
I mean, couldn't it have been like it started, like a lot of things just started out legit and then just got corrupted, you know, for whatever their function was.
What I would look at is statements from the Red Cross annually where they reported on that or over the years, and see when they started bumping up their numbers and kind of, you know, gauge there based on like funding and stuff like that. But I mean, in terms of what you're asking, I mean, really, honestly, I don't know. I can't say with any certainty who has accurate numbers at all. I wasn't there. I don't know would be the best to go by, but I do I think at this point it's not even controversial to say the 6 million is over exaggerated or incorporating a whole lot of other people.
Marcus, I want to hear what you guys say about
Man, why you want to put me on the hot seat on that one? Yeah,
the hot seat. I just sat here, Marcus. You were sharing the seat. Warren's got to take a stab at it too. It's a couch. It is.
Okay.
It's a hot.
You want me to? Because
couch.
I've done a lot of digging into this, and Chris. That's why Chris did it, because I've done a lot of digging into this, and I looked at it with an open lens. And my thing is, whatever the data shows is what the data shows. Whatever I can't find. It doesn't matter to me either way. What it comes out. One thing that I found interesting is that if I compare the numbers, especially right around that time period, and especially compare the numbers to in Russia, how many people that they had who died. Russians say that the number was far smaller, and a lot of the people who died were Russians and, forgive me if I don't have a better term, gypsies. And then also African prisoners were not counted in, and a lot of other groups of people factored into some of these numbers as far as what Russia said. Then I have another issue. When you start counting world population numbers of certain groups, it doesn't really add up. I'll just say that, because if that's the accurate number, then the amount of survivors doesn't make sense with the pre-numbers. That's what I'm saying. But I found a bunch of different inconsistencies throughout if I really dug into it, which before I always took all this stuff as just, this is factual history. It's not even to be debated or looked at all.
Or questioned.
Or questioned in any way.
It's still not supposed to be questioned.
It took until I saw a kid of that same I guess group of people.
He's from that tribe.
Who he was questioning it himself. And so I watched some of his information, in some of his questions. And then, because this is the first time I really looked at certain things. And with my military background, especially dealing with weapons and gases and a lot of things, just certain things were not adding up to me. And so without getting myself completely canceled out or in trouble, just it's a lot of inconsistency. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
That I would to go in depth. I have to be on. I'm not trying.
Wartime
to
gives an excuse for a lot of bad record keeping.
This would have to be a rock for me to really just let it all out, because when I start seeing some of this stuff, I was like, but I never even heard about this. I never heard. I start seeing interviews because there are a group of survivors which they give you some of their stories that they went through, and it was horrific what I'm hearing. But then I heard a group of other survivors that are like, yeah, some of these people, yeah, they were over there and in this area, this was really bad, but I wasn't over there. I was in this area and things were different. And so when you start hearing these stories, it's like, wait a minute. So were every single one of those people who were oppressing them going to the max, or were some of them literally just treating them like prisoners? Were some literally like torturing them and doing all this stuff? Yes. But were there some who weren't doing anything like that? Were there some who were feeding them? I heard accounts of playing soccer with the guards. I heard, so I saw a lot of different things which made me question, and I was hesitant about bringing out some of that stuff because I don't want the people who are completely against it as a whole and think it's all fabricated to use that as an excuse to go against those people in negative ways. So I'm really careful how I say, I'm not as they say, a denier, but some things are definitely not accurate. And I feel like there's a couple of shades of gray that are not penciled into this whole story for us to see a more clear picture.
All right, well,
I got a tip.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's say goodnight. Since you gotta go, Steve, what you got coming up?
Morning show tomorrow. Pull up for that. It will be fun. I have to go put it together right now. We have live in the studio on Slow News Day on Sunday, Scott Armstrong from the show Rebunked on the Holy Crap, Alex Jones just filed for bankruptcy ban TV.
Did he really?
Gonna have some questions for Scott on Sunday.
So is he doing this as a way to run from his creditors or something?
It's a strategic bankruptcy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And will still be operational. To the best of my understanding, but I'm.
Is his show do you guys still watch it? Does anybody still watch it?
Ooh, Alex Jones?
I play some clips when I find them, but I haven't hunkered down for 3 hours of info. I watched the hour that Jason Burmis hosts when he calls me and he's like, "Hey, I'm on the 4th hour InfoWars." I'm like, "Cool, kick ass, I'll go watch that." And I'll do that. I watched when Alex Stein hosted because he's becoming a friend. And he's at least a friend of the show and somebody that I talk to on a fairly regular basis. I watched when Jay Dyer hosted because Jay's been on the show too, and it's unionally unwanted and shit.
So was Alex Jones always the ops, or was he, or did he just change when Trump came?
No, because the whole Bohemian Grove thing was staged. I mean, look, dude, here's the thing with the limited hangout. You get to put out all kinds of really cool, useful information. But if you're Jones, you're discrediting everything that you're saying by the nature of who you are and by the way that you're delivering it. The frogs really were turning gay. It's just they weren't. They were, there was a thing that was making them math out. But because you're just making the frogs gay. You know, like, and that was the delivery. It wasn't Alex Jones said a particular incident that happened in the Northeast at a certain moment in history is the last decade or so wasn't real. It's that there were a lot of questions that were being asked and a lot of people that were interviewed that had a countervailing narrative, and a lot of the people that watched the show got way out of hand. Pasta's just straight blowing fucking.
Pasta, I see what you did just now, Pasta. I ain't mad at you though.
They can't hear you. I got earphones on.
Fucking stoners. Swear to God.
Wow.
It's not 420 Pasta.
But was he all that? I'm not even calling him an op, man. I'm not. I don't, dude. I don't think that you should take him seriously necessarily when he's like, I've talked to the top people in the world.
White House. I talk to the White House pretty frequently.
Okay. Okay.
That's
I mean, but like, yeah. Well, and Roger Stone's a fucking cartoon. Like, and, you know, and that guy's shady as hell on so many different levels. It's ridiculous. But like, you should be able to take somebody who's based their career on, look, I have a ton of documentation that will back up, you know, at least certain parts of what I'm saying. There might be a bunch of crazy shit thrown in it, but there's some stuff that you can't deny. You should always take that with you. You should always, you know, like, learn from that. If you can learn anything from Alex Jones, maybe it's like delivery or timing, man. That guy's a freaking just professional. Wow. Wow.
He is.
He is.
You know. And then, sorry, to get back to the whole other thing, we're going to have a ton of fucking incredible guests next week. Pasta, you want to yell out who's on next week?
Nicole's Paratech on Monday, Rachel Blevins on Tuesday, Wyatt Reed on Wednesday, J Fod on Thursday, Tom Wango on Friday.
Y'all are busy.
We're fucking killing it. And if you're missing out on that, then you're not getting your news early enough.
I'm just glad that you took the time to break into an abandoned house in Waukegan, Illinois, and from your secured location with the green screen behind you, you and Pasta. I know you're going scavenging, looking for treasure there. So, good luck in your hunt. Chris, what about you, man? What's coming up?
I got to get you guys rock. Thank you, Warren. I appreciate you.
Love you, Steve. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, wherever Captain Morpheus takes us, that's why I ride. You know, like I work too goddamn much. I'm trying to like stop working so much, but not yet.
Dude, you're not working. You're working it. All right. Now, I mean, I think that goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. I know. Young Morpheus over here has a lot of irons in the fire. Shoot him off, man. What you got coming up?
I guess I'll throw this out first. This Saturday, I'm still trying to get together everything that we're going to talk about, you know. But I know part of it, we are definitely going to go into some of the elite families in Pakistan. That is going to be one topic that we're going to go into. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that's been going on in Israel, as far as, you know, everything heating up again in the Gaza Strip. We're going to go into some of those issues, and then whatever other issues that I can think about that, you know, haven't been put together. So independent left news, he's going to be there with. So Indy's going to be on the live with us, you know, going through some of those issues. And shout out to Indy has been letting us use their rock fin over there, so much appreciated.
We're on it tonight too, so yeah, shout out to Indy.
So yes, we will be on it again Saturday night. What is it? My time 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, unless we bump it up or anything. But that's kind of normally our main time. I have some interviews that I am working on for What I've Been Thinking with Marcus Cage. So look out for those one-on-one interviews. And if you guys know anybody out there that you would like to see me interview or talk to, permitted that they even want to talk to me, I'll talk to about anybody. So let me know. I'll try to reach out to them, or if you guys have a inroad with them, tell them to reach out to me. My DMs are wide open, and everybody knows I'm very approachable, so they could talk to me about damn near anything. We do have an interview. The Political Matrix will be going on Doom and Gloom. Was that next week? Next Sunday we'll be going on their channel. So we're gonna get into some Bible stuff, which Bible prophecy, which my show Hebrew Apologetics, which I did last night with my co-host over there, Fuzz. We talked a little bit about, is World War III in the Bible? So I just kind of gave a teaser. I held back a lot of things, but I'm gonna keep, it's gonna line up with other things, and hopefully as my crowd they get a little bit more knowledgeable on these subjects, that I can start going deeper and deeper with some of these prophecies. And let's see, and then Talk of the Ages, me and Jalen, we're just catching whatever stories that are popping up and seem interesting in the pop culture, and so got that going on. Oh yeah, and I've just worked out an interview with Dr. Hughes of Scoon TV, and we are going to get into a lot of things involving especially Russia and African ties and the history, and he's I believe based out of Johannesburg, South Africa. So we're going to talk about that, and then look for Carl Zaw to come back on again. And I'm working on a couple of different other interviews here and there. So that's what I got going on. So and
yeah, it doesn't sound like you're very busy.
And anyway, don't forget, I work more than 40 hours a week too. So
yeah, you guys are the hardest working guys in independent media. We appreciate all that you do. I
often wonder, Warren, I often wonder, I mean, obviously some people are on so much that they probably don't have a day job, and they collect their, they pay their bills that way. But like me, I would love to dedicate a lot more time to doing this. Like, I have a lot more interest. I have a lot more things to say. Everything just has to be condensed and cut up because I do work so much. So I often wonder if these people, a lot of them have day jobs, because I know I have a crazy demanding ass day job.
Well, I sell ass, so I'm out on the corner. In fact, I got about 30 minutes before I got to be to that job. This my candy money, whatever I make on here. That's my my oh shit, I need a roof over my head job. I got to put that ass out there. No,
going out there, hands on his knees.
I got knee pads.
Marcus, don't do that again.
I got some Suave body lotion that no. Anyway, that's gross. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be talking about that. That's some nasty shit. But no, I know what you're talking about. I'm currently unemployed, but I'm gonna have to find something real soon myself. I know probably a lot of other people too. A lot of these podcasts and live streams and stuff popped up during the pandemic. You notice that, right? People at home. And,
hell yeah.
Yeah, a whole bunch. I think that, which is great.
Way more.
Well, yes and no. It's great for some. It's great to have more voices out there. Don't get me wrong. But when you have YouTube with the censorship, how bad that they've been, and they have really attacked us a lot. We were close to actually losing the channel, the Political Matrix channel, for a moment with the strikes that we were getting. But it just helped bury a channel like ours even more. Like, and like a lot of people, they're like, "Oh, you're a new content creator." I'm like, "No, I've had my own channels for started what we've been thinking about 3 years ago, and I've been going on to other platforms for now going on about 4 years now, and so I'm not new. I just get buried more into this shuffle,
Yeah.
or we get buried more into this shuffle.
Well, yeah, like you said that. Well, I mean, with more voices, comes good voices, but also some people just trying to do some shady shit out there too. So that's why it pays
And
to
not all these voices are good voices either. Some of them,
that's what I'm saying.
Like,
yeah,
I can name. I'm not gonna blast them, but there's two people who I used to follow, both of them. One of them has a massive platform, and he do a lot of stuff with Bernie. Their show together is horrible. Horrible shit lib takes right and left. But just because they have that name ID, they automatically get people over. Now, I'd like to say, even though we have about a quarter of the subscribers that they do. No, I think by now we have half. We still double the amount of viewership than they have.
Yeah. Well, it's because you're putting out good stuff. I mean, and you're putting out important stuff too. And that's what's most important, is uplifting these voices that are bringing truth, that are bringing information that people need, so that we can do direct actions, that we can do mutual aid and stuff like that. Because that's what I say. We like electoral politics is pretty much dead. The real leaders are going to come out of these actions, and hopefully we're going to see some changes here in the future. And with the more voices that are out there giving us that information, hopefully more people will be educated by that. So I've got kind of a well, this was kind of a it's starting to get a little busier for me. I actually have another extra Bulla show tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern. Daniel Lupker from Hardlands Media is going to be on. I've been wanting to have him on for a while. Laney Peterson's in
He's hilarious.
chat.
I love that guy. He's hilarious.
He is. It's like they worked. You got Crazy Kit, who's all over the place.
I love Kit too. I've had Kit on the channel with me once, and I need to have him back again. Actually, I'd love to have all of them on.
Yeah,
that's an invitation.
It's hard to get them all together,
I know.
I had Kid on back in January. I had Jerry and Ed Heller from Chicago Corner. They were on a while back. We gotta get those guys back on too. Lainey was in the chat. I'm trying to get her on there, but she's too busy being important and shit. So, calling you out, Lainey. But I want to get her on, and Kira from there too. I have an affinity for Chicago since it's my birthplace, and I discovered Hardlands Media through kind of like various people, and they talked about it. I said, "Oh man, it's a great show," and then I started watching Chicago Corner, and it's just like, this is my peoples, my Chicago peoples.
I honestly started watching them because they're in Chicago, and at that time I couldn't find nobody who was from the Midwest at all, and so I was like, "Oh, I gotta give them some love. They're the only like Midwest content creators."
Yeah, we're going to talk about 99 Perspectives, because they're not just Hardlands Media. They got they've got like radio station too, I believe, and all that. I'm going to talk to Daniel about that tomorrow. And I'm not quite sure it's going to be on Extra Bulla next week, but next Wednesday, 1 p.m. every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, me and Jimmy Sunderland, we do the news hour for KRTD/Kerberos. It's always a fun time. The kids seem to dig it. Nobody's egged my apartment yet, so hopefully I'm doing some things okay. And I just want to shout out especially Indy Left. Not only was he allowing us to stream on his Indy, thank channel. Indy's a great guy. He's also my Ko-fi supporter. So he's the first person to give me a donation. So he'll always have a special place in my heart. especially when we're on that cruise ship out in the Caribbean, making love under a sunset and wondering where our youth went. Wait a minute, no, that's somebody else. I'm sorry. But I like Indy. He's good. He's good people. We had close to like 20 something people on the about 24 people on Rockfin watching tonight, and we had about 20 people on Twitch and YouTube. I'm not quite sure how many, maybe a couple on Facebook too. A good crowd tonight. You guys brought the goods, and you didn't disappoint.
It's all Steve. All Steve.
Oh, stop
yeah,
it.
right. We'll blame Steve. We'll blame Steve.
You guys are too humble. That should be your rap name. Too humble. And if you use that name, I just want a little taste of the action. I'm not greedy. So
we got
he need a percentage.
I do, man. I mean, I'm selling ass out there, man. I'm trying to get out of that job. I want to shout out everybody because that's what I do. I know it's a lot of people, but I don't care. I love my
we
chat
do it
people too.
We do it too on our channel. So
I know I think I stole that bit from you too. We'll start with the Rock fam first. Lady Alex, love you. Teresa, Ricky Rants, what's up, buddy? Indies over there too. Universal Earthling. Let me see who else is up there. I think that's pretty much everybody over there. If I missed you, Ian Henderson, thank you so much. Oh brother, I see a lot of these folks. Misha's over there too. Misha's double dipping. Misha's in.
Yeah, I saw my guy Misha name. What's up, Misha?
Ed Heller too. He's double dipping too.
Proud.
They're hooking up both sides. That's good. I know, right? You brought a lot of your chat peeps over here too. I appreciate that. You know, Reef's up in there too. Fred Edward.
You said our rap name should be Too Humble, but this is gonna be the humble brag. Our chat the most lit chat out there. I watch these other shows. I'll check their chat. This shit is like, the
our
food
chat
is cooked,
is
but it's
wild.
not seasoned.
Our chat is wild. It is wild.
Y'all got some good time, crazy ass people watching that show. That's why.
Well, because we're both a little crazy. I mean, we'll admit.
I know, right? You bring it. You're drawing the energies together there. Rick, thank you so much. Appreciate you. I think I got we're in deep. Okay, very good. There was a lot of people. I had Shadowban, of course. Thanks for the $2. Sorry, Shadow, you don't get. I'm not gonna eat your ass for $2 though. You're gonna have to pony up a little bit more money because I know how you like it, and you better leave them fucking peppers out of it too.
Yeah, he wanted with chiles on it.
Crazy mofo. Over on YouTube, we got Mona and Variant and Kelly. Oh, sweethearts. Signs, good to see you. Laney, of course, Mariana, Mystery, Wesley Donaldson, I'm sorry.
West.
I tried to get people's names right. Misha, like I said, Atris, good to see you.
Atris.
Atris is also Laney, you crazy broad, you. Laney's a sweetheart. I can't wait to get her on here too.
And Warren, before we get out of here, you just got to send me a message anytime you do your late night show, because that shit was fun the other night.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a new thing I'm doing now. For those who don't know, so I do these little sneak attack shows. It's usually after midnight, and it's just usually me just talking shit with the chat. So and then we talk about what you want to talk about, and then we pull up some shit on the internet. Dingo, thank you so much. Think I got everybody.
And Warren, when I come to New York, I'm gonna look for you.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get fucked up, dude.
Yeah, because I got some. I want to go see my family sometime. In the next month or so, and then in August I'll definitely for sure be there. But I'll be there before August though, at some point. But I'm gonna come look you up.
You're the king of New York, of course. So, you know, you're going to show me the sights. Wow. You know, the real New York. That's what I want to see is a real New York. Aram, Yona, Ed, appreciate you, bud. And I think that's it. Let me sure. Oh, Nightbot, you're drunk again. You bastard. I'll see you in hell. I think I got everybody. I think I can. If I missed you, I'm sorry. My aim will be better next time, I promise. So, you know, I still think I'm still stoned from yesterday. That shit was powerful, dude. I mean, I haven't smoked anything like cigarettes or pot, anything in like since last October, I think. And so I took that hit yesterday. Timber. I was out, kid. And now I'm paying the price today. That's why tonight.
I had some what is this? Triple chocolate chip big dogs. That's what I had yesterday.
Does it got weed in it?
Yeah. It's one of the pre-rolls.
That's crazy. Oh, Jimmy, my buddy Jimmy, she was in the chat tonight early. She's probably passed out now. Jimmy's a sweetheart.
We're trying to get Marcus down. I'm trying to get Marcus down here to Florida because California too goddamn expensive.
Well, I know that I'm planning a visit. So I'm thinking maybe like I've been trying to coordinate it between you and Nico because I want to catch both of y'all while I'm out there. So
Well,
I'm thinking
you
September.
come see me. Well, you come see me, then we go see Nico.
That's the plan. So I'm thinking probably September. I'll be, you know, that'd be a good time to swing down there. Late September, because I know how that heat is.
Well, listen, Chris, if you're going to come up here, if you're going to come up here to visit, then I definitely got to go visit you in South Florida with all my crazy relatives down there in Florida.
Oh, hell yeah. And we're going to party. I'm going to take you to all the spots. We're going to party. Don't worry.
I want to go to that place where I hear the music playing outside during the show because you show me pictures of them partying. And I'm like, I could not have a club that close to my house. I would be in so much trouble.
Yeah, there's a bunch of clubs right near the house. But I disciplined myself. You know, I told myself, look,
there's no discipline here.
You can't mess with the locals because they know where you live. So I always go a few cities south or north.
It's not that I would even do anything. It's just I would just have to be in the ambiance.
I just need to save up bail money. That's all I got to do. I just need to save up some bail money, put it in my sock, and then when the shit goes down, because it's gonna, at least I'll be prepared. So, gentlemen, I appreciate y'all. You know, we've been seeing a lot of each other lately.
Thank you, man. You cool as hell, and you know you're authentic, and I appreciate it. You know, you don't really. There's a lot of fake shit in this space, you know.
Yeah.
But I can see you are who you are, and it's much appreciated.
That's high praise, man. I appreciate that, and I love what you guys are doing over there.
And you already know you're basically family to the political matrix, so you know we love you over there.
Everybody needs a crazy white boy in the chat. Come on, man. I mean, that's like industry standard.
Even
right?
my mom, like she's like, that Warren, boy, he is so silly.
That is not your mom. That is your sister. You need to quit lying.
That's
and
my
that lady,
mom. Yeah.
that lady needs to stop lying too, you know, because Jesus is watching everywhere.
I won't divulge her age, but that's my mom.
And Kelly and Signs need to get up out the house too. They come across the country. Come get a tan, y'all.
Dude, if we all got together in one spot,
they need to send us a picture of what they look like going out. Because I'm just, my mind has been wondering for 3 years what those two look like, you know, partying out there in Oregon.
I cannot imagine us all in the same spot. And then you throw Shadow Band in the mix too, that crazy fucker. Jesus Lord. Then we'd all need bail money. We'd have to, somebody'd have to sell a house. for that bail money.
You just gonna have to sell more ass.
Look, I barely look. I make maybe $1.25, $2.50 out this, man. I'm like a carpenter's dream. I'm flat as a board and easy to nail, man. You know, I'm just saying. You need that shirt pressed. I'll lay on my stomach, you know, and then we'll take care of business. Save that money. Don't take it to the don't take it to the dry cleaners. I'm the dry cleaners.
That's funny.
We're silly. We can do this all night. We got to get out of here, though. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I love everybody in the chat. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this later, we love you as well. Everybody take care of each other. Crazy shit is going on. Crazy shit. And it keeps getting crazier.
And dangerous out there.
And dangerous. So watch out for each other. And watch out for the bullshit, too. Watch out for people feeding you this bullshit. All right, if you ain't smart, get some smart friends, hang out with them. Trust me, that's what I do. I ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer, but you know, I'm surrounded by some Ginsu knives. You know what I mean? Because that's how I roll. Have a great night, and as always, wash your ass. Nobody likes a dirty ass, especially you ass eaters. I don't even want to go there. Good night, everybody. Wash that ass.